The other great bit of news today, which won't surprise any of you, was the Home Office. You know, that ridiculous office that's not fit for purpose and manages to screw up everybody that goes and works there. Apparently, Home Office officials have let it be known that they do not believe that Labour's plan to smash the gangs will work as a way of bringing down illegal migration. Goodness me, it's been 15 weeks and they're turning on the Labour Party. We're delighted to welcome former MEP Steven the Wolfman. How are you, son?
I'm great, Jeremy, great. You're having a great afternoon. Ben, yourself, me, it's going all well. It's brilliant.
Well, we're watching the Labour Party on its arse already. We're watching Nobody Gives a Damn About COP29, and that ridiculous human being Welby needs to do one quickly. Smashing the gangs won't work, says the Home Office 15 weeks after the Labour Party won an election saying, we're going to smash the gangs. Everything you said to me, Steve, everything.
Yeah, well, as soon as the Starmer came into power, and they came up with this idea that we're going to smash the gangs and this operational centre that they were going to create. I remember us talking about it and saying, this isn't going to work because, firstly, what's going to happen is the gangs are going to move around finding different routes. And secondly, they're not going to put enough money into it. And third, they don't have a clue how to manage it. Well, lo and behold, it's like something Sherlock, isn't it? Even the Home Office is saying exactly what we discussed now, and it's very clear. It's very clear. Starmer doesn't have a clue.
Well, let me play the bigger card, right? I heard and I wouldn't play it on air. I heard a comment from Trump the other day, and many people were saying that this was abhorrent. But he basically stood up and he made a speech where he said he named some people who have been killed by migrants coming to the United States of America. And he said, I'm telling you now, on day one, elite forces will deport, arrest, and these people will go. And if they come back to our country, they will get an automatic 10-year non-parole-based sentence. And people going, oh, my God, oh, my God. But actually, the longer this goes on, the longer this stalemate of whether we're too soft or whether we can't find out or whether everybody else has got the problem, doesn't it need strong tactics? Doesn't it need, Stephen, somebody to stand up and say, listen, I probably am going to be unpopular and upset a few of the lefties, but this is draining our society, it's draining our people, and it needs to be dealt with.
Well, of course it needs to be dealt with, and only a strong person with a strong character can now implement the strong deterrence that is needed for this. In the United States, it's clear that Trump has got that kind of character behind it. But when you look at who's been helping him with that policy, Stephen Miller, who was with him the whole journey since 2020, but has now formulated a strong plan that is being advocated by Trump, it's very clear that that's what's helped him win the election. 15 million people have illegally entered the United States under Joe Biden. They literally crossed the borders in droves the moment that he removed, by executive order, all of Trump's powers, which he said stop building the wall, putting the military down there. All of that's now going to be put back into force. And we need to look across the Atlantic and see what the mentality is. The mentality is people smugglers are evil. Therefore, get rid of them and arrest anyone that comes along with them.
And it's really interesting, isn't it? Because, again, and I'm going to do this every day because I make no apology for it, all the people that, you know, I watch The View, they're all wearing black. That's abhorrent. Donald Trump's an absolute nightmare. He's a misogynistic old whatever. And I'm not a total supporter of everything he says and does. But I'll tell you categorically now, for me, the lesson from Trump's victory to every British politician and politicians across the world, but I'm talking about this country, is this. You can stand there with your beliefs and your ideology, but if you do not listen to what a majority of people in your country want, you are going somewhere to be in trouble. And I believe, however much the elite in London don't want to hear this, and I include Conservatives in this as well as Labour,
absolutely,
millions of people in this country who never break the law, never ask for a handout, have never, ever rioted, have never done anything wrong, are increasingly hacked off, Steve. I really believe this, with what they see as soft policies towards people who haven't paid their way. And they are sick to death. And I think it should be a wake-up call what happened to Trump. They are sick to death of being told that we should be worrying about wind farms and we should be worrying about, you know, we need to be net zero and we all need to have pro-net. No. I thought all those people in America... What did I saw a woman say? American women are misogynistic, they've let us down. No, American women and men were saying, down the camera, we care about the cost of gas and the cost of bread. Just get it real. It's not difficult, is it?
It isn't difficult, but the politicians, and I agree with you, it's conservative and the left here. If you look at Liz Cheney, a Republican in the United States who just didn't understand the people, and they thought that bringing out celebrities would really help bring in Kamala Harris. No. When you look at the numbers of Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Cubans, South Americans who've all come over in the past few years are saying, no, we want strong borders.
And also, can I point out, if you are struggling, right, because of immigration, why is a billionaire pop star going to convince you to vote for somebody? That's ludicrous. And that's the irony of Trump. This billionaire who says what he feels resonates with everyday people, and that's what we don't have in this country. I'm not sticking up for Donald Trump. I'm just saying, to have somebody who says, this is what I think and this is what I'm going to do, and sod any of you get in the way, I just think that's what we need here. I really do.
He resonates because he understands what's happening when people can't afford to pay their bills. He understands when people are having their electricity kind of benefits removed, yet they know and they can see every day hundreds of people coming across illegally in the borders, getting housing, having their dentistry looked after. I saw a meme over the weekend that showed an old couple sitting in their homes with no gas and electricity saying, I've paid my tax all my life, so I don't get any electricity. And yet underneath was a boat coming over the channel saying, but they do. That's how people are feeling at the moment. They're feeling that disgruntled and really angry about the way that there is a dichotomy in this country, where there is a divide between the elites in politics and in the civil service and the business people who are supporting them and saying, we want all these liberal views, bring them in. And yet they don't understand the everyday difficulties these people are having to live. And it's sickening, Jeremy. You and I have been watching this for years. We have to talk to people. We see people going through these huge problems, and we need a strong individual that we will be like Trump. And I agree with you. I don't agree with everything he says, but on border control, he is absolutely right. Deterrence, deterrence, deterrence.
Steve, I could talk to you all day. You know, it's a tight ship here, so to speak, but I really appreciate you being on. Always welcome. Former MEP Steven Woolfe.